Welcome back. So we were out here in the Pete 389. She's got the CAT C15 up front. It's been a while since we took this one out. We've given her a new paint job. You'll see in the thumbnail. That's probably why you clicked on it. She's looking good. Job's come up to go into Council Bluffs on the border of Nebraska. So without further ado, we're going to go and pick up the trailer. And head out. I believe it's a tanker with a load of lye. I think. I haven't been running my own trailers lately. I've found it just a little bit more diverse to haul for other people. Yeah, so we're in Kirksville in Missouri. It's where the headquarters is at the moment, just because I'm about to purchase and download the Illinois map, so it'll give us a nice access into that through the border. But for the moment, we're just going to keep doing some work around here before we commit to Illinois. Might look at doing that after the 1.6 update has dropped, which by the looks is giving us a lot of new features. One of them being radio stations, which we've got anyway, but being a content streamer, when using certain radio stations, obviously you're using people's copyrighted music, and this can flag up when downloading to sites like TikTok and YouTube. So that's why 99% of the time we don't play music very often. But with the new radio stations, it allows to have some kind of background music without flagging up the copyright issues. So it, should make things a little bit more interesting, especially for me, because I don't do too much talking while driving. There's a lot of guys that stream and talk a lot, if that's your thing. But I like to kick back and chill, drive. You know that. So it would be nice to have some background music, and a few other features include when you stop for sleep, rest, you can actually choose how much time you're asleep for, which is good, because if you want to just see the night out and get cracking first thing in the morning and pick up some good loads, sometimes if you take the dictated amount of time that the game does without the option of choosing your own time, then you can miss out on some good loads, to be fair. And if you want to get cracking first thing in the morning, sometimes it'll sleep right through until midday, which isn't ideal sometimes. So that's a good feature. And there'll be some custom paint jobs coming through, mainly for companies and things like that. So If you wanted to feel like you're driving a fleet truck for another company, that option's going to be there for you as well. So but the one thing they need to address, unfortunately, is the traffic, the AI traffic. I've touched on this a few times before, and the graphics. Although I can run Ultra on 400% scaling, graphics not an issue. It's more so CPU bottlenecking that seems to be the problem. No matter how good your system is, this game does suffer with a lot of CPU bottleneck, mainly because the old graphics engine that's being used relies a lot on single core thread, and to be fair, in this day and age we've got better graphics engines that can utilise all cores of the CPU, so it'll stop micro stuttering and CPU bottleneck, things like that, especially now that they've added a lot more into the game. Even people that have a powerful PC setup still sometimes struggle with getting smooth gameplay. And it's just one of those things. But with the announcement of it coming to console, PlayStation 5 and the Series X, they're going to have to look at doing something with the graphics engine, because I don't think the consoles are going to be able to run it as it is now, unless if it's massively scaled back, which it probably will be, because on the console release you're not going to have the options of mods or the options to have a full sim rig set up, not to this level anyway. So they do need to address a lot more important issues than giving us a few widgets and paint jobs, unfortunately. So SCS, if you do touch on this, that's my penny's worth. And things just need to be improved, more future proofed. And even a 389 Peterbilt that we're using now, we've been promised a rework of the Peterbilt with better customised options, but we still haven't got it. And it's one of the oldest trucks in the game. It's one of the most used trucks in the game. And when it comes to Peterbilt, just like the old school Kenworth, they're heavily customisable trucks. So we do need improvement from SCS when it comes to a few of the trucks. And to be fair, you can go out and spend money on modded trucks. I've used them myself, as you know, I've put them into the channel. But it'd be nice to have a good vanilla version, so to speak, because the truck is looking a bit outdated now. And no matter how much you try not to, you do have to use mods when it comes to this truck. And engine sound seems to be a big one. We got some fantastic people out there, Captain Creechbomb and Slav Jerry, you know, and they make some fantastic engine sounds for us to enjoy. But why can't the developers set the benchmark when it comes to that, you know? Why do we have to rely heavily on mods to make the game more enjoyable? And I think this is another issue we're going to see with the console players, because they're not going to have the options for those mods. So unfortunately, guys, if you're watching this, you know, with a bit of feedback on console, I just think it's going to get too boring for you. And it will be the base game at best. One thing to consider as well when buying into this game is that it does get very expensive. Not just in the equipment to do this, but also all the DLCs, the map add-on. It can be a very expensive game by the time you've bought all the states and all the custom options and the haulage options that are out there for you. It can easily be a $200 game. So that's something to consider. Because I believe that we have issues with when you cross into different states, like say from California into Arizona or Arizona into New Mexico. The CPU can struggle to get that information, deal with that information, that loading between states. And that's when you most likely see your stuttering issues. And when you get into cities as well, it gets more compact, more traffic build up. That's where you do see a lot of the issues when it comes to micro stuttering and stuff. It's never a GPU problem. The GPU can handle the graphics no problem, but it's just all those tiny little things that back up onto that single core thread of the CPU, and that's what causes the problems, unfortunately. No matter how good your GPU is, the graphics engine needs to fully utilize all those CPU cores. So it doesn't matter how much RAM you've got or memory. You know, there is certain things you can do to help. Like I've got an NVMe storage, which all the Steam content I've got is saved on the NVMe. It goes straight into the motherboard, and it allows load up times to be a lot faster than your SSD drive. So that's also something you could look into if you're suffering with micro stutters and stuff. It does help. It does help, and you can play around a lot with the NVIDIA control panel, but you have to be careful with that, because I experienced a lot of issues lately, which is one of the reasons why content hasn't been forthcoming, so to speak. We experienced a lot of problems with graphics, especially with ETS2 and loading, and it turned out it was all because I had overclocked the GPU through NVIDIA, the NVIDIA app. So for some reason NVIDIA overlay was causing problems, and it took me a long time to figure it out. But little things like that shouldn't affect the game, not at all. But there is a lot of things that need looking into. Love the game, it's fantastic. I don't think you get much better than this, to be fair. There's so much you can do with it, but I think in terms of the graphics engine and the AI traffic, really needs looking into before they start giving anything else to us. Because they keep adding on top with all the updates, and until that graphics engine is, you know, is revamped, so to speak, I think the micro stuttering and the loading issues are always going to be a problem. So that's my little rant for today. It's not very often I talk in my videos. It's like to sit back and chill, but thought I'd touch on a few things. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I'm going to catch you guys at the end. Speak to you in a bit. that just about wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed that. Seeing a lot of people watching my content, but not many likes and subscribes coming through, or chat as well. So don't forget, you know, if you want to see more content, you want to make this channel grow, need help from you guys, get involved in the chat a little bit as well. There's a lot of shy people out there. Don't be afraid. Hit me up in the comments, and catch you guys in the next one. Take care.